Let me tell you about two places, Chicago and Mexico. Chicago, a city within our own country, has one of the strongest gun control laws in the United States. And yet 2,089 shooting victims in the year of 2014, and 50,000 guns recovered by Chicago police between 2001 and 2012, more than half came from out of state. Chicago doesn't even have gun shops, shooting ranges, nor the sale of assault weapons. Yet it doesn't prevent the desire and need to obtain these guns by law-breaking citizens. Shouldn't you feel the same desire to feel safe? Let us look at this from another country's point of view. Mexico has the strongest gun control laws and yet has more murders than the United States per 100,000 people. Mexico has one legal gun store in the country compared to the United States, which has 63,709. Now, we all know Mexico has a lot of corruption within their own government. They have drug cartels, and they have many people who cross our border searching for a better life. Perhaps these people don't feel safe, don't feel protected, and they don't feel respected. So they risk their lives to come here. I'm not saying people flee Mexico because they don't have guns, but I am saying it seems like the people with power, hence the government and the drug cartels, seems to have all the guns. More gun control denies people with a sense of safety. I want to show you some statistics. The numbers, so to say. Guns are used in 2.5 million times per year in self-defense. If these 2.5 million people died, isn't that almost like human genocide? 61% of men and 56% of women surveyed said stricter gun laws would make it more difficult for people to protect themselves. In addition, 79% of men, 80% of female gun owners feel safer, and 64% of people who live with others who own guns feel safer. These numbers don't lie, and it's made me feel 100% safer knowing I own a firearm. Nelson Lund, a professor at George Mason University School of Law, stated, "The right to self-defense and to the means of defending oneself is a basic natural right that grows out of the right to life. And many gun control laws interfere with the ability of law-abiding citizens to defend themselves against violent criminals." Does everyone know who Senator Dianne Feinstein is? If you do, she has been fighting for stronger gun control as long as I know. And yet, even Senator Dianne Feinstein, a gun control advocate, carried a concealed gun when her life was threatened and her home attacked by the New World Liberation Front in the 1970s. Even she carried a gun to feel safe. And now she's saying you can't? Does that seem fair? I want to share this last quote, and it's my favorite. Wayne LaPierre, Executive Vice President of the NRA, stated, "The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun." More gun control does not deter crime, nor does it deter criminals from getting them. People who own guns feel safer. The whole point of gun ownership is to feel safe and to have protection and to respect each other. I feel safer since purchasing my own guns. I'm not worried about violent crimes happening to me. My neighbors in the neighborhood watch also have a sense of safety knowing I am armed as well. I will not be a victim. I want to share this last story of mine. It was when I visited Houston, Texas, a city that allows citizens to open carry their firearms. Everywhere I went, I was greeted by strangers with "hello" and "how are you doing?" I wonder why people were so nice. Then I think about the city I live in, Los Angeles, where "hello" and "how are you" doesn't usually happen. People appear to be miserable, flipping each other off in traffic, or where the wrong look or stare will get you into an altercation, especially when people are drunk. I don't believe people are killers by nature, so the notion that if everybody had guns, people would just kill each other off, I find idiotic. I do believe if you know I have a gun and I know you have a gun, we can both say hello and how are you with respect, happiness, and with a smile. Because we both know that if we don't, it could end in a death by a gunshot. I believe people are good by nature, not killers, and they would rather say hello. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I like how you personalized your perspective on gun control to illustrate your point. With your personal experience of feeling fear in the community, and with local events that have happened. I think that it is difficult to understand your point fully because your speech is about gun control, but you're not breaking down exactly what gun control is and defining it. And so, without doing so, it's hard to understand what you're really talking about, really, because if you're talking about gun control and not gun elimination, then there is an avenue for law-abiding citizens to have access to guns. So then I don't like some of your points kind of um, are not as strong, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah. I believe that more gun control is not needed, and I believe it's the start to stricter gun controls as time passes by.
But I think the problem is that you're not even identifying what gun control means.
Yeah, I'm not identifying what gun control means. Hmm. I think the right to bear arms, and I think gun control as far as carrying to conceal carry a gun, which is legal here in California. I think that right is should not be that law should not be there.
Okay, and then so if that if that opportunity exists for law-abiding citizens, then what is the movement towards gun control about? What are people trying to restrict?
I think people that are against it are trying to restrict concealed carry because they don't want people to have guns.
But is it restrict access to anyone who wants a firearm, or is it restrict access to like people that are just not um, who who may not be able to responsibly have one?
I think it starts that way. I think it starts that way. But there are also been um, potential things that President Obama wanted to do, like, for example, registering every single gun that's out there. And Canada did that one time as well. And the registration of guns just made Canada take away all the guns because they knew where all the guns were at. And the problem here is true. I mean, I think that there are too many guns out there, and the problem is the United States can't control how many guns are out there because there's more probably guns out there than human beings, um, and they just wanted to be able to inventory all those guns so that they have some kind of control over it. Anything else? All right, cool. Thank you.